name is Avery Service. I'm going to be quickly covering the social media publishing through rep.com. What we're looking at right now is rep.com after you get signed in. When you get signed in, you'll likely land on this dashboards page or even in the reviews section. Not super relevant. We're actually just going to jump straight into the publishing tool here. So from wherever you are, hover publish, go to post management, and this is where you're going to be living if you're going to be doing social publishing through rep.com. You can see here, once we clicked on post management, we're actually looking at a calendar view. This shows all the posts on this calendar for whatever store you actually have access to. In this case, I believe the example person that I'm using has access to Larry H. Miller Chrysler Jeep Tucson. So you can see all of those posts. You can see the previous month, you can see the next month, you can see really anything you want. Anyway, I'm just going to come back here to September, and we're going to build a quick example post just to kind of get something rolling. In order to make a post, all you have to do is either click on the day of the week you would like to make a post. So I could click here on today, or I could click up here on new post. Let's just go ahead and click on new post. Once you've started to build a post, you'll have the second dialog open up, and this is your post builder. First thing you're going to want to do once you're in here is select the accounts you want to post to. You can see that we only have access to our store that we have access to, like I said. And we have the Facebook, we have the GMB pages for the main parts and service departments, as well as Instagram, TikTok, Twitter/X, and YouTube. For the most part, we mostly just post to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And then if we have images, we'll also include the GMB pages as well. But for this example, I'm going to be posting a video. So let's go ahead and select Facebook. Let's select Instagram and TikTok. I'm going to then upload the video that I want to upload. There it is. Just drag that over from wherever it is into here. Once that's uploading, perfect, I will then copy over the copy that I have pre-prepared. And once I've pasted in that copy, you'll actually see this pop up here. That's just telling me that the formatting that I've had pre-formatted on my copy on my text editor is not included when you paste it into rep.com. So you're just going to want to make sure you re-include all those line breaks, or really any formatting you had, just to make it look like you want it to look like. That's perfect. That's how I had it in my text editor. And then once our video has finished loading, once our copy is in there, I mean, we're pretty much set. There's just a few more settings we have to select here. You can see right here that we can either do a post or a reel. That just tells rep.com whether we want to post on Instagram and Facebook as a direct post or as a reel. Mostly for videos, we're going to want to select reel, so I'm just going to do that now. There are some TikTok settings that need to be set up, mostly privacy settings, who can see the video. In this case, we'll do public to everyone almost every time. This will just decide whether you want users to be able to comment, to duet, or stitch your videos. Most of the time, we just select all of those as well. And then content disclosure, this is not super relevant unless we are working with like an influencer or if somebody is paying us to post, which doesn't happen. So usually we leave those unselected. Now, there are some other settings we can select just to give us some more control over how we're posting. What you can do up here is customize by network. Go and just click that. It'll give you this little pop-up, tell you what we're doing here. I just go ahead and hit OK. And now you'll actually see that it's broken out under these selectable tabs here by Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So in here, we could do really whatever we want. On Facebook, we can now change the copy. This is for Facebook, right? And then when we post it, it will post with that for Facebook. We can even now say, I would like the Facebook post to be a post and not a reel. Then we can come to Instagram and we can say something, this is for Instagram. Oh, this if for is for Instagram. And now we can even tell rep.com we want this Instagram version to be a post, reel, or even a story. And then on TikTok, it's pretty much the same. It's just these TikTok settings that need to be changed and edited. Super cool. You can set up the copy however you want per platform. You can actually change the creative as well if you have different videos for whatever reason. Just more granular control of your posts here. All right, so let's say all of our posts are set up how we want them to be. We're looking good. You'll see down here that there's this post contains warnings tag. Go ahead and just click on that and it will tell you what those warnings are. And in this case, it's really nothing at all. It's just letting you know that Facebook is just a low resolution platform in general. So if your post and your media has a resolution greater than 1080p, it's just going to be downsized. We can see that we are good to post everywhere, even with that warning. So we are actually all set to go. Your next steps are just to save as draft. You'll see post has been successfully saved as a draft. And then from here, you are actually not going to be posting directly to the platforms. What we're going to do is send to approval. Now this button here will send a notification to a member of my team, the social team, to kind of just look over the post, make sure everything is good to go, and then they will approve it on their end. And once they have approved it is when it will go live. And that's making a social post. It's really not too bad. One other thing you can do, let's say you wanted to make another post that's pretty similar. Maybe you want to change a few things here or there. You can actually click on an existing post. And then once you have that post opened up, you can hit this little down arrow and you can actually just duplicate that post. Once you do that, once you click on duplicate, it'll say info, duplicated post below. From here, you can actually change the date and time you'd like to post your new post on. Just click on this little calendar here. Then you can just select whatever day you'd like. Change the time to whatever time you'd like. You can even click on these things here. These are just recommended days and times. It doesn't super matter. If you have a date and time in mind, just as valid to use one of those as it is to use the recommended days and times. So that is duplicating posts, that is creating posts, and I believe that's just about everything you need to know for publishing through rep.com. There are some other things I want to go over really quickly as far as video aspect ratios and exporting settings. So I'm actually going to hop over into a CapCut video editor to continue there, and we'll see you in a second. Alrighty, now we are in the CapCut video editor. There are just a few things that you're going to have to make sure that all of the videos that you would create or edit meet. There are some settings we need to make sure are always enabled. I don't know if you plan to use CapCut or what editor you plan to use, so this should be really good if you do use CapCut. I should directly show you what you have to do, but it should be relevant in any editor. So there are a couple things you need to do. First, you need to always make sure that your aspect ratio for these videos is 9:16. That's going to be that skinny and tall TikTok type video, Instagram Reels type video. That'll just make sure it's always postable to both TikTok and to Instagram Reels. So make sure aspect ratio 9:16. The other thing you're going to always need to do is when you export the video, it will always need to be in a codec H.264 or HEVC. Either of these, perfectly fine. The really relevant point here is if you are editing on your phone, especially if you're editing on an iPhone, your phone is going to try to export it into a .mov. Can't take .movs. That's not going to work. They don't upload through rep.com. They might upload directly to the platforms, but that's not what we're going to be doing here. We're going to be uploading through rep.com. So it's going to have to be, like I said, H.246 or HEVC. I think H.246 is the preferred method, so might as well just always use that one. The rest of these settings are kind of more or less up to you. Not sure how familiar you are with video editing. Bitrate is just going to be the amount of data per frame. So more data, more better. I mean, that's pretty basic. I usually just leave it recommended, nothing too crazy there. Resolution it's recommended 1080p is a good baseline. If you are recording in 2K or 4K say with your iPhone, I would say 2K is the max that I would set the resolution to. 4K, the file sizes are just absolutely massive. It's hard to work with, upload, download, etc. 2K is a really nice middle ground. It's going to look sharp on TikTok. It's going to look sharp everywhere else. But overall, I'd say 1080p is more than fine. And that's really it. Like I said here, nope, don't do MOV. Please do MP4. No MOV, MP4. Yeah. That's really all you got to be looking for.